All right, somebody said I need to do more LS content because they were sick of the Focus. So I bought this truck to part out, and now we're gonna do something with it. And it is an LS. I bought it sight unseen and found out it's a 4.8 liter. But that's fine. Kyle's gonna help. But when I bought it, it didn't come with a battery, so I took one of my Optimas and put an Optima in it, and the guy cut the cats off. We'll probably just look at that from underneath. So we're gonna weld something on and try and fix that. All right, we've got some issues we need to address. The guy I bought it from cut the catalytic converters off it so we can take it to the scrapyard. We have a small trans fluid leak. So we should probably fix that and dump and fill the trans with some tractor fluid. And we have a little bit of a brake line leak, and the brake lines are a little rusty. Fuel lines aren't great either, but we're just gonna hack it together and see if we can make this thing go down the road for a minute. But I'm gonna grab the welder and cut some exhaust and weld the exhaust back together and we'll put it on the dyno. All right, we're back from dinner. Before we left, we got the exhaust all patched up real nice. And now we had some issues taking the drain plug out of the trans. I used a 1/2 inch impact and it stripped. The motto with this is gonna be pretty much 30 seconds or cut it. So we'll come back to that. The brake lines are obviously not great. The rear line is replaced in ICOP already, so we'll carefully cut that with diagonal cutters and then splice into it later. We are going to put the ABS module in the garbage. And we're gonna try and fix the transcooler hoses by cutting those and rubber hosing them, because this thing's a piece of junk and no one cares. So I'm gonna weld a big ass nut on that and use a 1/2 inch impact, and hopefully it comes out and doesn't light the whole thing on fire. If it does, we'll just push it outside. Kyle's gonna get to work on the brakes.
Suppose so.
And I'm gonna weld a nut to the trans drain plug. All right, we'll see how this goes. Heather thinks that the truck is too close to the garage door. I think it's completely fine.
It is not fine.
Well, I don't want to work with, it's a nice night out and I don't want to work with the door closed. We have lots and lots of room.
Move the door.
There's tons of room. Look at all that room.
There's literally
There's tons of room.
0
showroom. I don't even know if
This is for when people are asking why the truck is on the hoist so crooked. You probably can't tell. We can still open the door.
Well, we did.
And Heather bought a new puppy. Kyle's doing a fine job removing the ABS module. You take your car to a BMW dealer, this is exactly how they do it. Diagonal cutters, PBR.
You think we don't use a cutoff wheel?
I guess I could have given you a cutoff wheel, but it sprays brake fluid everywhere. You're gonna want it. Got a specific pair of diagonal cutters for cutting Chevy brake lines off. They're the finest.
This one hurts me, the NICAP.
Fuck that line, no one cares. We'll cut it back eventually and tie into it maybe. All right, the ABS module is ready for its delete.
Okay.
All right, we have the finest Harbor Freight oil catch ever. Let's see how this goes. This thing is moving. Look at that drain plug. That thing is perfect. Like fluid actually doesn't look bad. It only needs to last a little while. Then we'll be putting the new trans in it.
That doesn't look horrible. There's still some red to it.
We're still gonna fill it with tractor fluid because it's like $40 for 5 gallons. We're not putting ATF back in this. We're gonna get the brakes fixed. Well, we're gonna get the brakes functional. We're gonna fill the trans with tractor fluid. I'll probably reuse my new drain plug. And then hopefully get it on the dyno in the morning or tomorrow and then go to Lapeer next weekend. All right, so we took the ABS module off the truck, and that means I need to go from 1 front brake line to 2 front brake lines, and you can't buy a 1/4" T. So I bought a 3/16 T from O'Reilly's and 3 adapters to go to 1/4" line. The other thing I couldn't get was tube nuts. They had 1, I need 5. So I bought a coupler and some brake lines. And I can just cut these lines and have some tube nuts, which the lines actually ended up being cheaper. I'll probably put this in a vise. That's the basic idea. We're going to have a whole crap load of fittings to get rid of the ABS module, which in hindsight was a giant waste of time because this ended up costing me $38.50 for enough fittings to make this T and reconnect the brake lines. So we're gonna move over the truck and try and get that done. We've got the trans lines on. There's no ABS. There's no proportioning valve. I don't know what it's gonna do on the street. I'm gonna run it in second gear because these tires are from 2012, and if they explode, I would like to minimize how far things go. And I have no idea if anything on this thing works. I haven't even driven it. I drove it from the hoist to right here. It's got tractor fluid in the transmission. We're gonna see what it does. Not too bad.